VHS Halloween was a rough watch, so let's rank all 6 segments.
Coochie coochie coo.
A collection of Halloween themed videotapes unleashes a series of twisted, blood soaked tales, turning trick or treat into a struggle for survival. Hi guys, my name is Barry and welcome back to the channel. I just got done watching VHS Halloween and it was hard to watch, if I'm being completely honest. One of the worst films I've seen this year, and one of the worst films I've seen for the past 10 years in the horror genre. It just wasn't good at all. I was going to do a movie review for it, but it would just be so negative that there would be no point in doing it. So, what I've decided to do instead of that is I'm going to rank all 6 segments because I feel like there's some segments in there that weren't too bad, and I feel like they don't deserve the hate that the movie does overall. So, what I'm going to do just now is I'm going to rank them from worst to best. And at number 6 is Fun Size. Now, when I saw some of this segment in the trailer, I thought that looks like it's going to be an interesting segment in the movie, but by God, was I wrong. This one was absolutely terrible. When it first started, I thought this was going to be an interesting segment, but with everything that happened in it, with each thing that kept on happening, it just got worse and worse. And I thought, where is this segment going to end? I think when this segment was on, this was the part I said to myself, I don't think this is going to be a good one. And I was absolutely right. Just the whole idea was stupid with them disappearing into the bowl. I thought, okay, where's this going? And then it went down to this warehouse and it just got worse and more bizarre. And then these candy things that were coming alive and laughing and talking to them. I just thought, oh my God, this is embarrassing. And at number 5 is Diet Phantasma, the wraparound segment of the film. Now, first of all, the wraparound segment should really make more sense than this one did. Now, I haven't seen all of the VHS movies, so I don't know if this is how the wraparounds work these days, but at least for the first 2, 3 movies, the wraparound story made sense. It was one of the better ones, and it felt like it was part of the whole entire movie itself. This one just felt like another segment that was just split up throughout the movie. It was very lazily done, and it's one that didn't deserve to be the wraparound. But with this phantasma, whatever you call it, the drink, it doesn't really make sense. It doesn't really explain anything. I know that you don't have to have everything explained to you, but there was just nothing in this one that I was interested in. I will give them props though that this segment did feel like something from Stranger Things, the look and the aesthetic to it. That's all it had going for it, the look and the aesthetic, but everything else I just didn't like. And then number 4 is Coochie Coochie Coo. Now this is the one I was most disappointed in. Wasn't the worst obviously, but it was the one that I had higher hopes for because from the trailer it looked very creepy. And then when it started with this segment after the Diet Phantasma intro, I thought, oh, this is going to be creepy. And when it started and when they got into the house, I thought, oh, wait a minute, we're in for something really good here. But as it kept going on, I think it lasted a little bit too long as well. It was kind of bad. It wasn't terrible. It was just kind of bad. And I felt like it was trying to copy Barbarian from 2022. Every time I saw a scene in the movie, I just kept thinking of Barbarian, thinking about how better Barbarian was and how better they did it than Coochie Coochie Coo. There were some scary moments in Coochie Coochie Coo, and in fact, I feel like this was the scariest segment, not the best, but the scariest segment in the entire movie, but it just didn't really work for me. There was too many things at play, too many things that were quite different to what I wanted it to be, like the baby face people with the big cheeks. None of it made sense, and obviously it was kind of disgusting as well. And at number 3 is Kid Print. Now I think this might be a controversial one because there's some people online saying they hated it because of the violence against children. I think with the way they went with the violence against the children, it was a bold move, and it's not one that I hated. I didn't hate the fact that they'd done that. I just thought it was interesting. It would have made for a better movie, this one. I feel like out of all the segments, this is the one that could have been a movie or even a TV show with the group of people that work in the kid print place, one of them being crazy and all these kids going missing around town. I think that makes for a good story and a potentially good feature movie. But when you try to condense it into the size of the the short that it was. I felt like there was bits missing from it. Again, it's not too bad, but I just feel like they could have expanded on it more. Of course, they hit you with the nostalgia as well with the VHS tapes and stuff, and I like that aspect about it. Like I said, it's not the worst one in the movie, and it's certainly got something there that's worthy of a watch. And then number 2 is Home Haunt. Now this one, again, is a good idea. I like the aesthetic to it. This one felt like the most Halloween themed of the entire movie. But for me, I think the only thing it looks like they were trying to show us was the great practical effects. And I think that makes sense because Rick Baker is in this segment as well. It was quite a nice surprise to see Rick Baker, a familiar face, in the movie. But I think they were just trying to showcase their practical effects. I don't think the direction was all that good. Whoever directed the segment, I think they're probably better to stick to practical effects than they are writing or directing. Of course, though, the story was kind of there. There was something about it that intrigued me, and I don't know if it was because of the story or because of the great practical effects. If I had to rank them from practical effects, then this would be the best of the bunch. But that's all this is, a practical effects extravaganza. And then number 1 is Ut Supra Sic Infra, which is as above, so below, apparently. Now, I've probably butchered the name, but this is my number 1 spot. This one was a good segment. I think the reason I liked this segment was because it was quite mysterious. We don't know what happened to this boy and his friends, and it kept going back and forward to what was happening. Quite different to the rest of the segments in the movie. And of course, it was Spanish as well. I think it was from some of the makers of Rec. Don't quote me on that, but I think it had something to do with Rec anyway. And as the movie was progressing, it did feel like something that someone from Rec would make. And that's what makes this one interesting. It was different from the rest. Not only was it a foreign language one, but it looked different, it felt different, and it had that mysterious vibe to it. Now, could it have been better? Yes, I think it could have been better. It could have been expanded on as well. Another segment in the movie that could have been expanded on for them to explain it a little bit more. But I feel like the mysterious aspects to this one is what makes it a good segment in the movie. The practical effects were pretty good as well. I loved how they were on the ceiling and they landed on the floor. Some of those aspects of the segment were something that makes this one stand out from the rest. So in terms of comparing them all together, I feel like this one is the standout winner. So that is my ranking of the segments of VHS Halloween. Like I said, it's not all bad. I do feel like my number 1 spot was good. And I think if they were all as good as this one, I would have liked VHS Halloween. I wouldn't have loved it because my number 1 spot's not great, but I just feel like it's unfair to say this was terrible, it's the worst thing ever, and having that segment in there, because that segment is nowhere near bad. It's actually good. But the rest of them, if it wasn't for that one, this would have been the worst movie of the year. But I had to give it some props because it wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen. Anyway, guys, what are your thoughts on VHS Halloween, first of all? And if you were to rank the segments from 1 to 6 or 6 to 1, what would be your favourite and what would be your worst? As always, leave your thoughts and opinions down below. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you soon.
I'll be right back.
What are you waiting for, huh?
Coming to get you, Barbara.
Ever played in the cat?
Someone's in the back! See